Janice Stein. She is the founding director of the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. She joins us now from Toronto. Janice, good to see you. I want to ask you about your concern right now about a wider regional conflict.
Travis, I am hoping, and hope it's not a strategy I often say, but I am hoping that the worst has been averted. Last Saturday night, we saw just an enormously risky strike that could have been so catastrophic in its consequences by Iran. The worst was averted there. There were no casualties, and there was a fierce struggle inside the war cabinet in Israel. Twice this week, they came very close to a massive strike. But what we saw on Thursday evening was a very limited attack. From everything we're seeing, and we need some good satellite pictures yet, the damage on the ground was minimal, but Israel was able to penetrate Iranian airspace. Iran signaled almost immediately afterwards that there would be no retaliation. So I think the worst has been averted for now.
The worst has been averted for now, and I know Secretary of State Blinken is calling for de-escalation, but how much influence does Washington have right now in this ongoing conflict?
There's no question that without President Biden's intervention repeatedly over this last several days, there would have been a major escalation. I think this is one that President Biden can claim credit for. That's a different question from, is the conflict between Iran and Israel de-escalated over a period of time? There is no guarantee about that, but sometimes when two countries come very close and they stare over the edge at the abyss and draw back, there is a period of time when they recalibrate, as we say.
You know, I'm wondering if you can give us some historical context, because largely we have seen in the past Iran and Israel take each other on in proxy conflicts. That's not the case here. And does that signal, you know, something different in this conflict happening?
You're absolutely right, Travis. This broke a long-established pattern where they take each other on indirectly through proxies, through assassinations. And that's why the attack last Saturday night stood out. 300 plus missiles, over 100 ballistic missiles launched from inside Iranian territory directly by Iran against Israel. That is a reset of the relationship. There's no question. Israel responded by attacking inside Iranian territory. So the conflict is now taking place at a higher level of direct violence between the two. How you go back from that is hard to imagine once you go up the ladder this way. So for now, we can hope for a pause between the two of them as each considers the risks. This is not a good experience for Iran. 50% of its missiles exploded, either at launch or in the air. Signals of vulnerability, which the Iranian government certainly did not want to signal. Israel.
Yeah, I was going to say there's certainly a lot of influence that Iran has in the region with Hezbollah, with the Houthis. Do you think that we could see some of these splinter groups react in the coming days?
Not on behalf of Iran. You know, Hezbollah has had its own experience where escalation was disastrous. This is not a command and control network. This is much more a decentralized network. There is coordination. But if we look at the last 6 months since Hamas attacked Israel, Yahya Sinwar cannot but be disappointed by what he's seen. The Houthis have essentially geared down. The Hezbollah has launched fairly routine attacks across Israel's border in a predictable pattern. And when did Iran escalate? Only when Republican guards were killed. So there isn't an automatic pattern where Iran snaps its fingers and everybody dances.
It will be certainly interesting to see what happens and what transpires in the weeks to come. Janice Stein, appreciate your time tonight. I know that you're very busy. That is the founding director of the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy, Janice Stein, joining us from Toronto.
My pleasure.